traveler.
I have no time for games.
The end is coming! Who am I?
Let me change your mind.
You require my assistance? A deal! We're gonna be rich.
I have no time for games.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. It is Wednesday. You guys all know what that means. It means we are here with a fantastic new episode of Tavern Talk, the show where we like to go over the results of all of the all of the series from the previous week, and where we like to banter on and go on random tangents while we talk about it. I am, of course, JR Juggerlaw. I am back after a week of crime fighting, and not because I was way too busy with work and had to skip the show, because, well, let's be honest, that's a way better excuse by comparison. And here, of course, I've got my lovely comrades for today. Of course, we've got the OP, who happens to be OP, Dr. Fish.
Let me change
Going
your
on?
mind.
And always just in time, unfortunately, had some technical issues, so he is not joining us today. But I feel like we've got a good replacement as far as another Hearthstone encyclopedia is. I feel like he might call himself that. Say hi to Heat Shock, everybody.
Hey, it's exciting to be back. I was here a couple weeks ago, but it's cool to do it again.
Right. And lastly, our very special guest tonight. I've had an intro planned out for this guy for like the entire week. He and I go back to the days of the Hero Power Rangers. He's the main reason that I'm able to host Tavern Talk in the first place, because he was the guy who originally recruited me, and I'm very excited to have him back. He's playing with me in Hero this season. Say hi to Dusharmo.
Hello, everybody. Glad to be here.
For those who don't recall, Dusharmo was the OP of Tavern Talk before Dr. Fish took over.
Yeah, he was.
So it's a little surreal. We're kind of like experiencing a weird deja vu of sorts, but we're going to enjoy ourselves, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
So we're obviously got a lot to talk about tonight. We've got the Legacy series has entered its semifinals tonight. 4 teams remain, and down from the 24 teams that we started. So that's quite a shrinking.
Oh,
And then, of course, Hero Series. I don't even know what else to say about that. We'll get to that. But now we're in playoffs, and that was just a journey and a half. Like, oh my goodness. And of course, Pro Series is starting to wind down as well, with only 3 weeks of the regular season left. And we've also got Wild is I
Final
believe
week.
it's its last final week of the regular season before playoffs start. So
Yes.
interesting things happening in every series this week. So I don't want to take too much time. Let's start right off by going into Legacy.
Oh yeah. I didn't move legacy
Real.
in the notes, but we do have them here. I will change them in the notes as well. First match is going to be Foolish Madmen versus Always Top Deck Elite. Change this really fast. That way Ducharmo can go over the match. Of course. And all sorts of technical issues that I had. I forgot to change that.
It's an exciting match.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I got it now. It's
Foolish Madmen are quite the team,
They are.
so it's going to be exciting to see if ATL will be able to take them down here, because Always Just in Time has not lost yet in Legacy.
Yeah. All right. Now
No,
everything's
I-
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're good.
I think always top deck lethal is going to have a very hard time here.
I
Agreed.
Very hard.
This is like a very tough position to be in because Always Top Deck Lethal is arguably having one of their best runs in Legacy to date, which is saying a lot because they've had quite a bit of success. But I think even Blue Spartan would agree they've probably had more success in Hero compared to Legacy. And here they are. And this is the second season in a row that they've managed to make it to playoffs. And boy, like, are they on a great run? Every single person on their team except for T Stew has a winning record. And they've just been, they finished out with a solid 6-3 record going into this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, you look up the matchups, and I'm like, these aren't unwinnable, but it's gonna be rough. Like Nails versus Always Just in Time. Like Justin was saying that he thinks Nails could be his hardest opponent yet, especially as somebody who qualified for a Masters tour by making it through ladder.
Mhm.
But I mean, who knows? I mean, Justin is 8-0 and for damn good reason. So I don't really think that that's, something that is to discourage him at all. T Stew's having a good season, but he's got to go up against Dardar. And I'm like, how do you compete with that?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
that man is insane. Even if we're talking about Legacy and not Hero, where he just had the most insane run last season, like he is killing it still. I mean, this team overall, like, look at them. Foolish Madmen have dropped a total of 7 matches
In the entirety of
over the course
eight
of
weeks play.
40 played. 40 matches have been played, and they have only dropped. Well, actually, no, I'm not. That's technically not true because I do have to
I think
take into account the subs.
subs. Yeah, one of their subs did not get a win.
Okay, so
I
8
think.
losses. But point
Yeah.
is, look at like 3 players of theirs have only lost once or less.
Yes, they're regular players who have played. The players who have played every week have only lost twice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you've got Diamond in the 5 seed. I mean, he hasn't played the full season, but
Oh.
he's very strong for a 5 seed. I'm not
Oh
sure
my
how
gosh.
the PR worked out to fit him in.
Well, Automated Button and Jimbo might be first time players, or like I think first time like THLers.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So they had like kind of default like PRs, and they've both I think at least increased by about 100 PR from their original starting PRs.
Yeah, they must have given those
And
records.
to note, Justin has moved up into the 1 this week. He was playing in the 2 for the entire season, and him and Darter have swapped because their true PRs have changed.
Agreed.
Wow.
So yeah, this is why it's also gonna be one of the hardest opponents.
Also, shout out to Diamond because I totally didn't realize this until now.
Yeah.
Both of his teams in Legacy and Hero are both currently 8-0.
Yeah.
His pro team is going to make playoffs too.
Yeah, and For the
So,
Boys is gonna make playoffs too. Yeah, he doesn't
quite the
he doesn't captain the hero team, but
No,
I
but
would
it's
like to point out.
but he plays on the Hero team. So
True,
to me,
true.
that still
Yep,
counts a lot.
Ducharmo.
Yeah, I would like to point out that we do know Always Just in Times and Nails as classes. Always Just in
Okay.
Time brought Druid, Paladin, Rogue Warrior,
Right.
and Nails brought Mage, Paladin, Rogue Warrior. So pretty much the same lineup. Difference is Druid and Mage.
Gotcha.
I think I've got to give Mage the edge here, honestly.
Yeah,
I like how that lines up.
I do. Mage does line up very well. I mean, you ban the Paladin, and
No, I think you ban Warrior.
or Warrior.
And you place I would ban Warrior and play spell damage here. because
true.
then you hit Gibberling if they go Gibberling,
crush
and
it.
then you hit you hit the Stealth Rogue.
Yeah. And then this way your rogue also matches up better against that lineup in addition to the mage. I see where you're getting at.
I
Yeah,
like
that makes
it.
sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Very good.
So I think if I was Justin, I would not bring Gibberling. I think you have to. You're tempted because it beats the Rogue, but at the same time, you have the terrible major matchup. So you've got to figure something out.
Yeah, I think Justin bans the rogue and then goes for like maybe more of a beast or Highlander druid.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
like-
maybe like clowns and ramping. That sounds
Yeah,
like
exactly.
a decent idea.
I
Yeah.
was never really a fan of Druid in Legacy because I always felt like, with the closed deck format, it's pretty easy to target.
Yeah, it let me down pretty hard this season a couple of times, including my playoff match, where Token Druid was the only deck I couldn't win with.
I haven't brought anything but Quest Druid in a THL match in
Nice.
like 3 seasons, I don't think. Because it's just so it's not very good at flexibility.
No.
It's not the classist. You'd think it would be with Choose One, but it's just not flexible.
For the record, Quest Druid was what helped get Tampam into the finals 2 seasons ago. It won me my match against Sanguine and swept like just out of nowhere. It was insane.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic that the deck with that doesn't have choosing and it's Choose One is actually one of the more flexible ones.
Yep.
It's very weird. You wouldn't think that.
Yeah.
Yep. But I think, I'm still very excited though for this because I think if Always Top Deck Lethal wins this, it's not going to be the craziest thing because you look at this team and they're still a pretty solid team across the board. They happen to be going up against arguably one of the most formidable rosters with one of the most intimidating like player records that you could see. Like I feel like if they were going up against Flame Pimps or F2L Red, yeah, they have lesser records, and both those teams are tough in their own right. But I'd probably be thinking, this is very even by comparison.
Well, if I had to do a prediction on this, I would say Nails is the only Always Top Deck Lethal player to win. I think the rest of Foolish Madmen win. Dardar, Automated Button, Jimbo, and Diamond all win.
I think
that's a good prediction.
Yeah, I hate to say that's a good prediction because I don't want it to be so one-sided, but I think he's got a good point.
I think that Jester stands a chance, but I think the rest of them go Mad Men. Obviously, I think Nails versus Justin's a coin toss. I wouldn't be surprised if either of them won. So I'd say Nails has the advantage on classes. Dardar wins. Automated Button wins. I would say Jester could win, and then Diamond wins.
Well, the only reason why I'm saying that is I think that Automated Button and Jimbo are severely under PR. I think Automated Button is easily a 550 player, and Jimbo is to me is more of a 450 player. So I that's where I'm at. I think they're above.
I think that's fair, but I also don't think Matty Ebbs and Jester should be counted out because they've really proven themselves in the 3 and the 4, and I really think that they could absolutely keep up with like the higher like 3 and 2 seeds. So
did Dr. Fish just cue us into please go into the next match, please?
No, I did not. I did not. I did switch match in preparation to switch match. Had to change something else. Transitioned their match by accident.
Well, either way, I say let's.
I thought it was one of them subtle cues.
No, I would know. I would actually just say let's move on.
Neither Dr. Fish nor I are subtle. That's one thing you have to learn about.
Yes.
Last thing I want to point out about this before we go is I think Dardar moving into the 2, he picks up the win there
100%
easy because he's been playing in the 1 seed, and he's going to get a little bit lower of a bar in the 2 seed. And Tistu, he's good, but he's 4 and 5. So.
I think Dardar's true PR is like 700, right? So that would be a over 200 advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty fair.
Yeah. I mean,
but Dardar is also 3-3, so who knows really?
Yeah, I mean, playing in the 1 seed and going 3 and 3 is nothing to scoff at.
There are a lot of 700 PR people in the 1s.
Yeah,
that you just can't see it.
Yeah, they're ridiculous. This team is great this season, but thank God for PR caps.
Thank God for PR caps because this team can't happen again.
Yeah.
I mean, it might happen. It might happen with different players, just not this.
Well, they would have to replace Diamond with a 50 PR player, I think, pretty much to make it.
I
work.
don't think
And
that's enough.
I
Is
don't think
it?
that's
Don't
enough.
request-
No, they'd have
don't
to.
replace Diamond. You do not replace Diamond.
Diamond's
Okay.
the captain. I mean, he could sit out. He might actually sit out.
Alright.
Yeah,
he-
Diamond.
oh,
Diamond
yeah.
wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. I
Anyway,
don't know
I-
what happened here, but this team's not
I know we're
happening
not
again.
doing any.
Oh, come on, Diamond.
I
It's
don't know
not
if we did
happening
any
again.
brackets for this, but I
We
think
did.
Foolish Mad Lib would call.
We did, and my bracket instantly got blown up because I in faith picked Dad Legend to win last week.
Yeah.
And that did
Well,
not
we
happen.
shall see.
Because your team did, I thought, have the best chance of actually doing it, of winning. Your matchups were
it's
pretty
also-
interesting.
And it's also it's compelling. You want to see them be back-to-back champions.
Sure, I like Dad Legend. I have friends on that. Friends
Oh,
on
we'll
most
get
of
there.
these teams.
We'll get there
We'll
next
figure
season.
that out.
Oh yeah.
But let's move on to the other Legacy semifinals match.
Yes.
Flame Pimps versus F2L Red.
All right. So this is, I think this is easily such a close match. I just because of how the seeding plays out, we have Myanodon versus Valera in the 1, Rabobson versus Taco Cat, Marty B, who moves down to the 3. He played the 2 last week because of how close Rabobson and Marty are. They switch seeds quite often. Rotted Zombie versus Boolean in the 4, Slad versus TF1 in the 5. Yeah, and Marty plays Goose. So I think and we do have classes for Rotted and for Boolean. We have Druid, Paladin, Rogue Warrior versus Paladin, Priest, Rogue Warrior, with the Priest and Druid difference between there. I think because Rod has been playing so well lately, I would tend to favor him on
he got
on just
off to a
track
rocky
record.
start, but he's doing really well in the 4 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you guys on that one. And I really like Myanodon in the 1 too.
Yeah,
he's really good.
Playing so well lately.
I think right now the seeding for them kind of works to their advantage. You know, the guy in the 1 has the most momentum going for him right now, and the guy in the 2
Agreed.
has the second most.
Mhm.
We
and
see
I think-
we see a lot of this. We see a lot of this in this season where we have a lot of like stacking, and Hero too. You see it.
Yep.
Vote of no confidence or vote of some confidence is like that,
Right.
where you stack the top 3 seeds 550, 550, 520, and then you kind of gimp the 4 and the 5 a little
Yeah.
bit, but you're not really gimping them if you get a star player in those seeds.
Yeah,
Right,
know,
exactly.
I mean, with both of these players, Slat and Rod and Zombie both being mainly wild players, they came in at low PRs in Legacy because of that. Both of them
Yes.
are insane players. Like Rod and Zombie, I think lost 2 matches all of last season. Wild, on F12 Viridian. So a really good grab there. And Slad is also known pretty solid wild player.
Yeah.
Having somebody
I think
pull from Wild's good.
I think vote of some confidence. Our team was actually Ron and I think Kat were both just below 500 at the
Yep.
start of the season.
Yeah.
And
I
then
think you're right.
they won a lot. And then Agua, Gunga and Asamong, they stacked. I think they had like the most
550.
stacked 1 through 3.
They did, yeah. They had just actual 3
Yeah.
550. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, this is certainly going to be interesting, I think, because these teams are like very close. I noticed Diamond said in the chat that Marty was the only one from Saloon who said that F2L Red is going to win. And honestly, I feel like I'm surprised because I don't feel like either team looks so much more favored on paper. I feel like this is just really hard to call.
Yeah.
I will say the match I'm looking forward to the most for the wrong reasons is Marty B versus Goose. Because fun fact, so Goose is on my pro team, and Marty doesn't play, but during like one of the first seasons that he joined in, he would join us in our team meetings and would like help out with prep. And listening to those two kind of go back and forth on like their various disagreements was very entertaining. So I'm just like thinking to myself, like, this isn't a grudge match, but I know like Marty's might be thinking like, I don't want to lose to this guy. Like, it's gonna be like there might be some friendly banter / trash talk. I'm curious to see what happens.
Mhm.
But I think these are two very different players going at it against each other.
Yeah, I think these teams are both really strong. I think Flame Pimps is a pretty big advantage in the 1 and 3 seeds. And so it'll be a question of can they use that to get the win here? Like I could even see a tie happening here where F2L wins like 2, 4, and 5 or something, or it could be very close.
Yeah. I mean, even I don't think any of the matches are so one-sided. Like it seems like each team is likely to get at least 2 wins, but I don't know, like even the 1 seed where like you've got Valera who's proven to be a very strong 1 seed. I don't know, I think my Anodon, despite never really playing in the 1 seed before this season, I think he can handle it.
I think Manodon is great, but Valera is one of those people who doesn't always bring their best every week. And I think that like being in playoffs and all, I don't expect him to lose.
Mhm.
I could be wrong
Yeah.
here, but like very good player.
Expect him to bring Rogue. That's all that really needs to be said there.
Well, certainly in this meta, right? It's nuts right now,
Yeah.
and you don't even know which one it's going to be.
Yeah, he's top 50 right now, but the ladder is, I would say ladder is different from THL
Yeah,
performance.
definitely.
I mean, there's a,
Yeah.
I think I heard somewhere that there's a 550 player who's never hit legend.
Huh?
Yep.
I'd believe that.
Yeah.
I think
I
that
believe it, but wow.
I think how much time if you spend like a lot of time prepping every week for your THL match, you can do really well, regardless of what your ladder is.
Agreed.
I mean, we'll see. I'm definitely curious to see how this plays out, even though we're not going to be talking about it on the show next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tar Center will go over.
Yeah, so
I think-
Somebody will.
So let's get to like this stuff is great. Don't get me wrong, but I think
Yes.
let's get to the subject that's been like really on our minds. I know with DeSharmo and I, we've both been hyped up to talk about this. Let's talk about the Hero playoffs.
All right, I'm gonna pull up the brackets on screen right now. All three of our the brackets from myself, Sharmo, and JR have all been posted on the screen. So the matches I will run through them. This week we have Photos from Confidence versus F2L Black.
Wait, you bet against us? What the hell, man?
Dab on 'em versus ATL, Tonk versus Agungan Usamung, and then Ask HS versus Tampam Surf Slam. And
Yeah.
yes, as JR pointed out, I did pick Ask HS the week.
I'm fine with that.
I feel betrayed.
I
feel betrayed.
I
feel
am
hurt.
completely-
I feel disappointed.
I
No,
love.
I
it.
actually think that your match is very close. This was one of those I had to think about before I wrote my answer.
Well, I think my match comes down to, or my team
Yeah.
comes down to the 4 seed. The 4 seed needs to win because the 3 seed's really under PR'd on our team, and
Yeah.
anytime they bid Rick really low, so the 4 seed has to kind of
Yeah.
pick up a little bit, and so I really think that's where it comes down to. If we could get a 4 seed win, and me or JR can win, then then we can grab it. But I mean, I know my playoff bracket here is very highly biased. I'm going to say that. If I was not,
If it wasn't, I'd be quite upset.
For the record,
if I was not on Tampams right now, I would be. My bracket would look a lot different from the outside looking in. But I do know my team. So
Yeah. For the record, though, my bracket, if I had completed it, it would be the same as DeSharmo's. So just keep that in mind.
I was putting this together last second. I just wanted to get just your just at least 1 week down for everybody.
I noticed that we all agree with everything pretty much except Ask HS and Tampams.
Yeah.
We think Vote's going to win. We think Dab's going to win, and we think that Tonk's going to win.
Yeah. Tonk is. I had the 2 matches on the right side. I really had to think about because they are close matches.
I do. I do. We go.
Them.
I do think we're going to go over that match, Robo. So I'll tell you my reason. Hey, you know what though? Prove us wrong. That's why I always said it when I was on.
Yeah.
Everyone said Dad Legend wasn't even going to make the playoffs this year or this season.
Yeah. Oh, I was like, I thought they were crazy. I was like, wait, Dad Legend's definitely making playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, even though we lost in the second round, but it's still,
Yeah.
So use that as fuel.
Yeah, exactly.
I showed you guys. I showed you.
I feel bad for Dad Legend though, because like they this is the second season in 3 seasons of Hero where they were doing so well, and they had to basically go through a massive ball drop in order to take themselves out of playoffs.
Yeah,
And
that was
nobody saw that coming.
Oh.
yeah, that was a huge
Oh yeah, no,
upset.
Hero Dad Legend not making playoff was a bit like
Yeah.
I was
And
I was not, that was something I did actually think that team would make playoffs. But both the Dad Legend
Well,
teams I actually thought were making.
I explained this in our Discord, and I think Tan Pans was underrated all season just simply because of the way the schedule bore out.
Yeah.
We were the first team to have a bye, so that means that we were already a game behind
We
everybody.
were the second. We were the
We
second
were?
team to have a bye.
Okay,
actually. We were.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Oh, that's
I have
right.
the
That's right.
schedule
That's right.
confirmed.
You're right.
Wasn't Dab the team that got the first buy in your? No, that's in teal.
No, we didn't have to. But no, you're right. We were the second one team to get a bye, but we played Vote of Some Confidence the first week, and we got our butts handed to us. So we were like already behind. So not only did we play the best team in our conference, we got a bye on the second week, and then we had to do it again. So our last 3 weeks were a little bit, I don't want to say easier, but they were easier from Vote of Some Confidence. So I don't say people would say it was surprising that we pushed to the end, but I would beg to differ, just simply because of the way our schedule worked out and the way the buys worked out. And
Yeah.
I think the other thing about having the early buy is it's pretty good because you have information on what people did before they have information on what you do.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just relieved that I felt I was like I wanted Dad Legend to make playoffs, and I was glad all right, we would even if Dad Legend hadn't dropped the ball, we still would have made it, thankfully. But I realized oh wow, we actually avoided having to play Vote of Some Confidence first round by letting that happen.
Yep.
That was crazy. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, if Dad Legend won a few more one match, I think
Yellow Dart needed to win.
Yeah, if he won, he would have been above Tampans, and Tampans would be playing.
No. If
no, they would have. They would be
match,
playing. They would be playing.
They needed to win 2 matches to actually pass us in that instance. Yellow Dart's match was basically just a question of will they still make playoffs? But if they had won that, they still would have been behind us.
I guess my point was that the Dad Legend was slotted to beat Feet of Cthulhu. I think that's the team they were playing.
Yeah, they got.
If they just had done their the work, they would have been. What I'm saying is they would have been higher. I mean, just looking at the standings, they would have been higher than us if they had won that match that weekend. Yeah, and so it would have been a much different bracket.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm like, oof. It was crazy. I was like, I need to pull a DeSharmo and just win my match and bring us home. That was all that was needed. And I'm very relieved that we ended up getting there at the end. Now the question is, how far can we go?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm happy
just to make playoffs, but I would love that second championship.
Oh yeah.
100%.
I would love it.
I want my revenge on Heat Shock. I think he reverse swept me. I went up 2-0, and then you reverse swept me with the class. I forgot what it was.
2 of our guys got reverse swept that week. That was what was truly heartbreaking about it.
Was it Rogue? Did you reverse sweep me with Rogue?
I don't think I've
Rogue.
played.
No, that was the second time we faced each other, Diamond, not the first.
The first time I remember playing Rogue in the first cycle, but I don't think I actually played a match with Rogue in the second cycle. Maybe I might have played 1 or 2.
No, I didn't. I had to sub out because my house was flooded.
Oh, so I probably did then.
You played Lefty the second time, so I only got to play you once.
Oh yeah, we got to get a rematch then.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah. But we're on the opposite sides of the bracket, so we have to make it to the finals to do that.
Yeah.
I'm down for that. I mean, I barely beat our hat when he was on Rogue. He almost swept me with Rogue, and then Ron swept me with Rogue because game 1, I didn't play around him having Pyroblast off of Wand Thief. I'm still salty about that.
Oh.
That was my own fault. I should have played around that possibility, but I genuinely didn't consider. Oh, he's got 10 damage. But I don't want to turn right. I
don't want to throw out Ask HS though, because I'm playing Adamos this week. If there's anybody other than Heat Shock, yes, right?
No,
you're playing Mr. Python.
Playing Python.
Mr. Python. I'm sorry. What am I talking about?
I was gonna say Adamos. Adamos was on Servants of Yogg.
No, I'm thinking of something else, guys. I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good.
I got no. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I worked like 10 hours.
Is that
a day,
is that a pro match instead?
No, I got it confused somewhere.
Oh,
No, I
you're
meant
good.
Mr. Python.
Mr. Python. Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Python has not lost yet.
No, he has not lost.
I think he's the only undefeated player left in Hero. Like, I think he's the only person who went 8-0.
Yeah.
I believe. So that
And I'm hoping.
he
I'm hoping
won
I
his
can
pro
make that.
match too. So I feel like momentum's on his side right now.
I'm hoping that I can make him 8-1, but that's.
Yeah, you can do it.
I mean, I think I can do it, but
Oh, yeah.
I gotta do it.
You just gotta get the counter. Figure out what he's gonna do and bring the counter.
Yeah.
I got a couple wild cards in my back pocket.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool.
All right. Well, we got to talk about these matches though quickly. So let's get right to that.
Let's talk about the one match that we didn't really bring up, which is Advanced Tactical Lackeys versus Dab on 'em. We'll go with that one first. Really talk about.
I think this is the one I picked, right?
This.
Yeah, I think I picked this one.
Oh, you did. Yeah, that's right. I got that. Northern Oaks.
Yeah, that's fine. This is one of those matches that I think it's going to be very close. And I picked Dab on them to win here. Simply, I just think that they line up better. The matchups are a little better.
Mm-hmm.
The only one I think it's close is the 5. I know Buse, and Buse in the 5 is at a 200 PR is a steal.
Oh yeah.
And
we were basically making jokes every week about how weekly reminder, Buse is a 5 seed in Hero, and his PR
but also,
is double in Legacy.
Yeah, but also Matty Ebbs is also a steal in 5 seed on ATL side.
I know.
So
yeah, he's like
he's
also a 400 PR player.
Actually, his PR is also double in Legacy. What the hell?
Also, Nice Jewish Owl is a 4 seed, which is crazy.
Yeah, Milo's really good.
I know. That's been like a recurring talking point as well.
Yeah.
I would say the only match that ATL is favored is the Nice Jewish Owl versus Astral Frog. That's the only match I think, ATL has the advantage there. But I think if you look at it the way around, I think they're either even or Dabham has the advantage.
Yeah, I think Based and Owl will probably win, but the rest of them could go either way for me. I think it's also close.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't be surprised. ATL is really good. However, they started 5-0 and proceeded to lose the next 3. So they have not been trending well.
Yeah, I mean, but that's also kind of a trend that sadly seems to happen with ATL in general, where they get off to really good starts and then they start to falter towards like the later half of the season. I don't know what it is, but that just seems to happen with them. But I do think that all of these matches, to me at least, feel like they can really go either way, and that there's not one that's easy to call. Blue Spartan versus Base is a real big match of heavy hitters. Your Mum Kid versus Booze is pretty even. Risen versus Dewin, I feel the same about, despite the fact that Risen, PR wise, is generally used to playing higher, whereas Dewin is probably he's obviously pretty used to playing in the 3-4. Nice Jewish Owl versus Astral Frog. I mean, Nice Jewish Owl is really good, but I feel like Astral Frog is often very underrated.
Yeah. I mean,
and then Buse versus Matty Ebbs is we said it before, same thing. 2 5 seeds that are really 3 seeds going up against each other.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the crux. That's how Hero has turned out this season. Like a lot of really strong players playing in seeds would not expect them that are lower, playing it in seeds that they're lower than they would be if they played that they usually would play in Legacy for PR series.
This is what I'm gonna say. I think Based has the edge over Blue. I think Based has the advantage. I'm gonna say Booze has the edge over our Mum Kid, even though our Mum Kid was lights out in Legacy.
Yeah.
I think Booze is just having a great Hero season.
He really is.
And a reason why I think Dab on him wins is because I think the Dab on him wins the 1 and a 2, and then they're gonna win one of the last 3.
Yeah.
One of those 3 they're gonna win, and that's all they need.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
I think Nice Jewish Owl moving into the 4 seed instead of being in the 3 seed helps quite a bit, because especially if Milo's getting used to the Hero format and just kind of how things kind of play out. It's a little obviously different than a Conquest format, being Last Hero Stand. And it also helps to have Risen, who's doing really well playing in a higher seed.
I also say if Dewin is prepping, I know sometimes he
Doin's a
plays
1
up
seed.
games. Yeah, if he's prepping, he's unbeatable.
Yeah.
He's a 3 seed. He's gonna annihilate.
He
So
annihilated me in Legacy before, so
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
I played him in Legacy, and I beat him. So
Yeah.
no flex or anything.
no,
Both of these teams strike me as really bottom heavy in terms of their power.
I like it.
Like they're going to be picking up a lot of wins in the 3, 4, and 5 against other teams.
Yeah, but,
So it'll be
yeah. So one of these two teams is going to come out. They're similar, like you said. They're similar in PR style. I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Mm,
So they
I would
match
say
up
so.
really well. So that's gonna be some bangers, and I think a
Yeah.
couple of these are on stream, so that'd be cool.
yeah, this would be a good match to have on stream because it should be close.
Yeah.
Let me see what we have. Yes, Booze versus your mom kid is on.
And
gonna be
I
on
gotta
Saturday.
say,
and
though,
Maddie versus
have you
And
guys
Matty Ebbs versus Booze. Yep.
have you guys seen Dab's what do you call it?
Logo?
Their team picture
Yeah,
logo.
yeah.
That is fantastic.
It's fantastic.
It's
That's
pretty glorious.
Okay. Hot Zilf's beats them, of course,
Oh, of
because Hot
course.
Zilf's logo was the best one ever created. But
Yes.
Dab on 'em's logo is ridiculously hilarious, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I almost picked them to win just because of their logo.
I don't
Yeah.
think you should be faulted for that, for the record.
No. All right. Let's go on to the next match, and this one is JR DeSharmo's match. Just Pam Sursland versus Ask HS. JR can go ahead and talk about this one.
Yeah. I mean, this one I'm very excited about. This one is, of course, DeSharmo and I, our team, going up against Ask HS, who have the same record as us. I think this match is pretty even looking, personally. I am very excited for everything that's going down, especially because Mr. Python and Dr. Bomdi are on my pro team, so they're good buddies of mine. I'm really hoping that if they beat us this week, that they're going to win it all. I have the great opportunity to play against Draco Cat, and I am scared. I'm not gonna lie, because this guy is on Hype Horizon. I hear he's really good, and even though we have about even records and very close PR, I feel like I got to bring my A game to beat this guy. So we'll see how that's gonna play out. But I'm gonna stay hopeful. We got time to prep. I feel pretty optimistic about my chances and the chance of the rest of my team. I do think that it seems like a bit of an uphill battle for us, given how we barely squeaked into playoffs. We definitely don't look like the most winningest team out of all the teams left.
But does Pam's ever look like the winningest team?
No, but I guess like when we had our championship run 2 seasons ago, it was like we were doing really well overall, and like you kind of in that season it was like 12 teams brought down to 4. So
Yeah.
you really had to be doing pretty well in order to make playoffs at all, let alone make it to the finals.
Well, I
Go
do have
ahead.
to point out Dr. Bomdi in the 3 seed is really insane.
Yeah.
Dr. Bomdi is a 2, maybe a 1, an even 1 seed there. So
BOS
playing
is-
Oz, playing Doctor is. If
Yeah, I
Oz can
was
get a
looking forward
win
to
over
playing.
Doctor, I think we win. I think if Oz beats Doctor, we win.
I think that one's going to be a big one. It's going to be pretty clutch.
Yeah.
But I also think you could end
but
up beating Mr. Python, despite the fact that he is.
Oh,
on the
I
field.
know. I'm prepping hard this week,
No,
so
no,
I'm not
right,
going to give away any.
No,
I'm not giving
no
any.
giveaways.
No, I'm not giving away anything. But we're going to be playing on stream on Saturday, so
Yeah.
hopefully, Ask HS doesn't have it locked up by then. But I do want to say, Ask HS is a great team. They played in a much harder conference than we did, because our conference had 3 teams that were 3 teams that were actually 1 team up top, and then 2 teams fighting for the 2 and 3 seed, and then 2 teams on the bottom. Their conference was basically 5 teams sort of evenly dueling it out all season long. And so, they had a lot of great matches with some great players and teams that were all on the roll, or or doing some some great things. So I look forward to this match. Even if we lose, I think we, we're in a great position though to pick up this match if we can.
Agreed.
I want to give some props to Kel for bringing back Ask HS. I was on Ask HS about 4 seasons ago. And I think he took a break after that season, but he brought back a sick team. sick team.
They did really. They played last season with the team, and they made playoffs also. So this is two seasons in a row of playoffs for Ask Hearthstone. Really good job by them, putting together a great team.
Yeah, they're having a really good run. I wouldn't be sad if we lost to them. I feel like this is a great team to go out against, one that feels pretty even with us.
Yeah.
I think Wash and Clarity are going to be in like good position to win their match. I think that just somebody in the 1 through 3 needs to win, and that's going to be where the toughest challenge lies in my eyes.
Yeah, Wash. Even though Wash's record is 3-5, I think he is underrated in his position.
Yeah, Wash is a really good
100%.
player. Yeah.
And I think
Kel is
and
very good, but
one thing I love about Oz is he's just a champ there in the 3 seed.
Yeah.
Just sort of doing the best that he can. But Oz is a good player. He can.
He's under PR'd. I think
Yeah,
Oz
he's
is better
definitely
than
under
that.
PR.
He's been struggling in both Hero and Legacy,
Yeah.
so it's been like he's still trying to find his rhythm.
Yeah, for sure.
But most of his losses though have been really close, like 5-game series.
Yeah.
And those points definitely contributed to the position we were in. Like I was gonna
Definitely.
say, if Oz hadn't gotten those 2 games that he did in his loss last week, we might not have been able to lock up a playoff spot with my win giving us a win for the week because it was so close. That's how crazy it gets.
Yeah. I think that's that definitely plays a big part. Is those little points every week, even in losses, getting 2 points in a loss is really good. Regardless, even if you feel bad for it.
If you look at points and records, though, Tampans and Ask HS are pretty even.
Oh, yeah.
114, 5-3 to 120, 5-3. So
yeah, definitely.
I think this is going to be definitely close. Sometimes I don't know. Heatchalk might tell you this. 3-0s are actually close sometimes.
They are. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Like because you're almost going to beat something, and then if you win, you're going to 3-0. But it goes the other way around.
Right. Stuff. We're gonna move on to our next match, and this is Shock's match. We got Vodos and Confidence versus F2L Black with a 4-1 start.
Yeah, that's exciting to start off the week well. But I think we're in a really good position here. We came in as the dominant team going into playoffs. We haven't lost a match yet, and because of that, we get to start off against the team that barely scraped in. And F2L is very good, but I think that they don't seem to be in as strong a standing. And I'm confident that my team can win in every seed. Honestly, I think that, I look at all of our players, and I think that all of us can beat everyone that they have.
I love the confidence, but I love Jim, and he's a good player. But I do gotta give it to Rotted Zombie there in the 5 seed. I mean, I agree with you in the other seeds. Our hat in the 3, Ron, even Ron in the 2. Both are good, but he's playing Rebob, and Rebob's pretty good as well.
Definitely.
Hockey Boys is good, but our hat is our hat. You can't vote against our hat.
Yeah, our hat is cheating. It's cheating.
I voted against him when I played against him.
and Diamond's good in the 4 too. Diamond's also under PR. He's always hitting legend. So and I think he's great there. I think it's going to be very hard for F2L to win this. I do think Rotted wins the 4, but I think win this 5, but I do think F2L is going to have a hard time winning the rest.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I talked to Jim, and I think we've got a good plan for this one. So I have faith in him.
No, I agree. I think I like his priest into Jim's lineup, to be honest with you. You don't have to give away anything, but I think
I won't. We got an answer.
Nice.
Don't give anything away.
Shenanigans are afoot.
I like shenanigans.
That druid is a little. That druid and Rotted is a little for me. But the good thing about Hero though is that you can bring a class, a really wild card class and lose with it, and you be okay.
Right.
Two stronger decks.
I've done that so many times. I play a lot of weird stuff, and like a third of the time it's complete garbage that can't win, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I brought Control Shaman 2 weeks in a row. So
I think I brought Control Shaman like 4 times last season.
Yeah.
Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't.
And it's like a 40%er deck too.
Yep.
Yeah, but if you get that matchup,
If you hit like World Kick Rogue with it and stuff, some matchups are like, it's very polarizing with Control Shaman. Sometimes you have an 80%, and sometimes you have a 20%.
Oh
so.
yeah.
I think vote of some confidence. You guys were just like floating the entire season on cloud 9. You're just beating everybody unstoppable in the conference, and F12 kind of limped into the playoffs. I think that kind of momentum is gonna continue. I think you guys go 9-0, and I think F12 does get knocked out in the first round.
I mean, it's hard to picture, a vote of some confidence losing, considering what an incredible run they've had so far. But they're just really good. At this point, how do you root? I think you can root against them, but not yet.
Yeah.
Wait until we face them again. We'll give you the opportunity.
Yeah. And I would have to say, Itachi losing in the 1 is massive. I think if F2L had a path to victory, Itachi had to have beaten you. That had to have happened.
It's like, even though Heatchok is insane, I think Itachi still knew there was a chance he could actually make that win happen.
Yeah.
And knowing all right, that effort has been quashed, and whatnot. It's like, well, oof.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm a better LHS than Conquest player.
So I would have to agree with you.
I felt pretty good going into this one. And I wanted to get my revenge because Itachi did beat me last week in Pro, so.
Of course he did.
And I love the team name as well. I get it, because it was vote of no confidence, right? Like that was the team before.
Yeah,
now you guys have a steal in the 2 and the 3, and now it's a vote of some confidence.
Yeah, and what's even funnier is, in this case, Hockey Boys, who was on vote of no confidence, is now going against vote of some confidence.
It was and Rabobson was
too.
Rabobson,
that was Steffi Rabob. Is like Rabobson, Steffi Hockey.
Rabobson, Hockey, Slimsh, I believe.
Oh, yeah, Slim. Of course, my boy Slim.
Yeah.
The legend.
So here's the thing, though. There was a pro vote of no confidence, and then there was a legacy vote of no confidence. So I'm trying to remember, because I think Slimsh was on the pro version, and then the legacy one was Rabobson, Steffi, Brasky, Hockey, and I'm forgetting the 5th.
Oh, okay. Cool. That's awesome.
We talked about this on the anniversary special too. So
we got to move on to the next match.
Oh, right? We do, yeah.
Yes.
Next match, final match, Orange Conference rematch. Third time's the charm. Talk If You Are Corny versus Agungan Usamung. These are teams that I faced twice this season, and I went 0-4 in my matches against these teams personally. We've got,
they're both insane.
This is insane teams with really good players, pretty much across the board.
I said this earlier, and RoboCats is going to hate me, but I think Tonk wins. I think they win easy too. I think RoboCats definitely wins in the 5. That's going to happen. But I think across the board on the other side, it's going to be very difficult, I think.
Yeah. So I'll go through the matchups. We've got Always Just in Time against Dardar Banks in the 1. We've got Turtle versus obviously handing Turtle his first and only loss of the season last week. We've got C-Mac versus Molestar. C-Mac coming back after a week off. Probably really ready to go. We've got 9 Eyebrows versus Scritch. Skirt Reynolds versus RoboCats.
I think Tonk and Agua trade the 4 and the 5.
Yeah,
just because RoboCats is obviously ridiculous in the 5 seed.
Yeah,
and I want to point this out. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, and hopefully I don't get in trouble. But RoboCats asked for us to increase his PR, because he's just such a modest person. Doesn't feel that way. So I think. I don't think it's funny. I think it's like actual like.
No, I also knew about that.
Because I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
For somebody, I've never in my experience of the entire THL met somebody that was like, you know what, I'm way under PR, and I want to play people that are up at my level. So can you increase my PR next season? That has never happened before. And if Robocots was underrated in the 5 seed, I would still go for him because
Yeah.
just that kind of modesty is really awesome. And it's one of the things that I love about the THL. You have
Yeah.
people like that.
Yeah, I
No.
mean, he clearly wants to push himself to do like better and challenge
Yeah.
himself.
Agreed,
So I think
yeah.
that's really admirable.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And betting back to the match, I think Robocats is definitely favored in the 5, and I think 9 Eyebrows is definitely favored in the 4. So then
Yeah.
it comes out to the top 3, and I think Tonk wins 2 of the 3 of the top 3. That's where I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Gunkin takes it, but I still, because this was like my closest match. I took the longest time to consider this match, and I came down with Tonk winning with 9, with 9 Turtle, and Justin winning their matches. And you could tell me C-Mac would win, and Justin would, somebody else would lose. It would make perfect sense to me as well. But I think Molstar getting the hang of Last Hero Standing means he's gonna be a monster for the rest of this season. Like, even if Agua moves on, they're going to be really hard to beat.
I think C-Mac's going to win in the 3.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think C-Mac can win.
Yeah, and all the top 4 players of Tonk play in pro, if I'm not mistaken.
Turtle has subbed in. I don't think he was playing prior.
He subbed in.
Yeah,
he subbed in. He subbed in. But,
yeah, he's subbed. All these guys have played. Yeah,
everybody else has, though. I think.
yes.
I don't have a tremendous amount of faith with Druid into Warlock lineups.
Yeah,
I think that's not going to go well.
And even Mage there too. You got Mage into the Druid. That's really tough as well.
You can get out of that one by playing Ramp, because ramp can beat, like, if it's spell damage Mage, at least you don't lose to that. But you can't get out. You can't get out of the Warlock with the Druid.
No.
You're in trouble there.
Yeah.
It's fair. Yeah.
Warlock is just insane sometimes. I've played against Warlock before, and I think you even brought it the first week. And there's some times like you're on turn 4, there have 2 8/8s, and
You're like, oh, really?
And you're like, crap. Like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah. That's just the nature.
And then they play the 0 mana card, and they get them back, and you're like, what the?
You can even play like a Ticketus deck, and it'll beat Druid, because you have AoEs and you have good removal for guardian animals, twisting tether and stuff.
The only
problem with that, like, there's so many options within the Warlock class.
The only downside, I think, and maybe even not too much of a downside, would be the rogue, where it could, if you go like some sort of weapon rogue, you can burn them.
Yeah, Warlock's never going to do well or be favored in that matchup.
So you probably just ban it in this case.
You could ban the Warrior too. And I mean, it's LHS, so you just use the Warlock to stop the Priest or the Druid.
Yeah.
Yep. I like it. Right.
It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out at the end of the day, because, this is all speculation at this point.
Yeah.
Right. I think that Agua's a team that's been building momentum, so definitely watch out for them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very curious to find out, is what happened last week, was that like Tonk just taking it easy because they were already in playoffs? Was that Gungan like finding this new like second wind within them? Like, it's very fascinating to me that not only do they play again after that big what happened there, but also they're playing 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, we can ask Heachok. Your last week that you guys played, you guys kind of knew you were in. Did you guys sort of back off a little bit, even though you guys were in? Like I don't want to say. I mean, you obviously played well. You won, but did you guys back off a little bit on your last week?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I mean,
I didn't like not try, but like I don't think we prepped the same that we normally prep.
Yeah, so I would think that if Tonk preps, I think that they're in a great position.
Yeah.
And that's also saying a lot, though, considering that you guys had a bye the very last week, so your last week of playing was the week before that, and you guys were still already locked in at that point.
Right. The question is, could we lock in first place for all the divisions? I think that was our question.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
That mouse keeps going over my forehead in my picture, and I keep staring at it.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I move my mouse around
What
a
are you
lot.
doing to my What are you doing to my forehead, Fish?
Yeah.
Lots of wrong things, really.
Do not be drawing anything on my
No,
forehead.
I am not. I am simply moving my mouse around to get things set up for next segments.
No, I know.
Yeah, I know you're giving me a hard time.
All
Yeah. Yeah, the old op giving the new op a hard time.
right, what's the next thing? I think we still got we're like 55 minutes in. We
Yeah,
still
we're
have to talk about
55
Pro.
minutes in. Yeah,
Oy
we're
vey.
gonna skip the commercial break and we're gonna go right to pro.
Okay.
Yeah, I if we were not 54 minutes in, on top of me having technical difficulties in the first place, we would
Yeah.
do a commercial break.
This one, I picked this one this week. This was
Yeah.
one of my most favorite matches, and I also think that this match has playoff implications for
It
teams
does.
that are not in the top 4 right now.
It does, yeah.
Because there are some teams that are below Yasiraj Clown College that have a chance to steal it from them if Yasiraj's Clown College do falter a little bit. You have, there's a good amount of points. They're 13 points away, but you have Swagoy, who's 13 points away, and then my team, which is 17 points away. I mean, I know that's a lot of points, but we've seen that happen with Tampams, where you could in a couple have 2 really good weeks, and then this week is a tough week for them if they lose big. And Aeon really needs this win to sort of solidify their playoff win. They might be in a world of hurt if Swagoy or the Unknown or even that's the only one there. But Swagor or the Unknown pick up some steam here.
Yeah.
But I think this one's a great match overall, though, and I think it's going to be very close. The 1 seed in Nails and Arhat is going to be ridiculous. No pun intended. I didn't intend that there.
Or did you?
Yeah, it's nice to think about how Arhat is 6-2 in pro, and he's a 3 seed in Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Donde was, I do think that Donde was the 1 seed in Aeon for a while. So I think
Donde was having an insane.
Yeah, Markshire as well. Markshire is a great player.
He is, yeah.
Risen as well. I think Risen was having a hard time in Legacy this season, if I'm not mistaken.
He did. I don't think he won a single.
Yeah,
which is very weird for someone as good as.
Well, I mean, this isn't a closed, open deck list thing, so it's completely different.
It is, yeah.
You don't
agreed.
You can bring a little bit spicy. I don't want to say you don't want to bring spicy decks because you can definitely get swept, but. Or not swept. That deck will get swept, but you can bring decks that are a little bit more spicy than you can in closed deck lists, because they're not. They can kind of target it, but
you mean closed versus open, like closed?
Yes,
you can bring spicy. Open, you can't.
Yeah,
times.
I think you can bring spicy stuff in closed. They're open lists.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think Legacy is the worst to play spicy stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying that in open deck lists. You can bring a little bit spicy because they can't really target it.
True.
You could bring a shaman, and
they
then
can't adjust.
They can't adjust to it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah, makes sense.
So and Donkey, even Donkey, I'm not know a lot about Donkey, but I do know that he's a pretty good player. So I would say that this match is very even across the board, and I wouldn't be surprised if any of these players beat any of these members on any side. But if I had to guess, I want my team to go in the playoffs, and Yasiraj has the less amount of points, so I'm gonna go Aeon wins just because of that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think regardless, it's just important for whoever loses to put up the best points that they can. So I think both teams will probably play it safe and just try and make sure they're getting 2 3s, because they should be able to slide in as long as nothing weird happens.
Ideally, yeah. Oh, this one's hard to call.
Yeah.
I think I don't think that the loser is out. I think if the loser picks up a win on the last week, then I think they're fine. I think the top 2 I think are solidified. Hype Horizon and For the Boys are in, but these 2 teams I think are on the cusp of getting in. But they can, and I hate to use this acronym or this pun, or not, I don't call it pun, but this words. But I don't think they want to pull a dad legend. and lose the last 2 weeks,
Oh
and then
gosh.
lose at the end with only getting 5 points in the last week. So, sorry, Dad Legend. I'm on Dad Legend too. Dart's gonna kick me off the team. Yeah. So Neji's right.
Replace you, but I don't see that.
What is Neji saying?
Neji says Clown College faces Hyper Horizon next week. So they have to play a really insane team.
Yeah, they need to put up some points here then. They probably need like at least 12.
Agreed.
Yeah,
they need to win at least, not the week.
I think they could lose twice and make it.
Sure.
But it needs to be a strong loss.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's it's like you got to just this is one of those situations where the more points you can get, the better. Like even if you don't end up winning, just at least try to get like a 2 points if it's a loss,
Mm-hmm. I think having Neji playing in the 5 and Pro is a cheat code. It should not be allowed. Because like I don't know. I mean, most of Neji's team has qualified for. At least I know 2 members of their team has qualified for the Masters Tour, Nails and Kalos Loon. And I know Neji's actually pretty close. He has 2 out of 4 top 8s. I'm not sure about Valero or Lumble. I think Lumble might have also qualified, but not 100%. I mean, I think that there's a roadmap for both teams, and it's gonna be really interesting to see how it plays out.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and let's go to the next match. We're gonna move to the pink conference. We're gonna go with Heat Shock's team. Tap Washers versus Due Process.
Yeah, both of us are not in the top 4 at the moment, but we're like very much in the race, I think.
Yeah.
So we definitely probably if either of us picks up 2 wins in a row, we'll probably make it.
Yeah.
And there's probably not room for a loss. I know we didn't get the best start with C-Mac's match. He did lose.
C-Mac, yeah. C-Mac lost 3-1 to Python.
It's kind of I think so. He lost 3 favorables in a row, which really sucked.
Oh wow!
But
that happens sometimes.
Yeah, I just get unlucky. I think we can still turn it around. Agreed. I know Ufric is gunning. Ufric and I both want to play Flame Killer next week and knock him off of his undefeated record. So there's a little bit of a contest there.
Is it me or am I the only one that looks at Rice Bowl's name and gets hungry?
Nope.
Oh, kind of.
Took me a few weeks to get used to that.
I'm thinking of. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to derail you, Heat-Shock. Go ahead. No, Heat-Shock is like, what is Desharma? Get this dude out of.
No.
I'm sitting here talking about my game, and you're over here talking about rice bowls.
Fun fact, Desharma. I have to say, there was no joke a time where I was chatting with the guys in our Discord. And I was figuring out what to order for dinner. Rice bowl made a point, and I just went, you know what? I'm going to order a nice like poke bowl with rice in it. So yes, that name legitimately will make you hungry.
Yeah, I want to. What do you call it? Panda Express rice bowl right now. Oh, so good. Anyway, go ahead, Heat-Shock. It's your floor, buddy. I didn't mean to take it from you. Go ahead.
That's fine. It's fine. I think it'll be interesting. Looking forward to my match with Goose. I think we always bring different stuff, right? That's the Tap Washers way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if we can catch him off guard.
Nice.
But I'm their captain, so you won't.
I won't. Yeah. Well, I'm not telling you what I'm bringing yet.
Oh, I could be very persuasive. I am a lawyer, remember? Well, I tried.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
I don't have the energy though. That's basically where we're at this point.
Yeah, I mean, even with the 4-1 away, which they can still win.
I'm hoping we can pull out a win. I know at this point the odds are stacked against us, even if we win these last 2 weeks of making playoffs. But we're still going to give it our all. Hope for the best.
Yeah.
I think if you win 2 in a row, you'll probably make it.
I see. The thing is, it's very possible. The problem is, like, in terms of a point gap we have to make up. Definitely doable within 2 weeks. The problem is that there's a lot of teams in that that 5th through 8th place that are like really close and kind of ahead of us. So we have to like really hope for some big wins.
Well, you're gonna pass us if you beat us, and then you just have to beat Cheapies, right?
Not necessarily though, because you guys are 11 points ahead of us. That's not necessarily a gap we're going to make up through a win, unless it's a really big win. But like it's possible, but we'll see. Like that's the thing.
Well,
It all depends.
11 is like actually a lot less than 13. I
I
think
think
it's
I
like
think
a lot less.
Probably.
you guys, your conference is a lot more tighter in the 3 to 6 range than the other conferences. I think
Right.
I think in the Black Conference you have the top 2 that are going to make it, and then the third one, whoever wins this next match is going to win it, and then you have the 4 and the 5 and the 6 who are sort of hanging on to the skin of their teeth. But in this conference, like you guys, like Due Process, Tap Washers, Sushi Rats, Sheepies, are all fighting for that 4 seed um, up in there, and it could go any direction, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know
But
Sheepy's AOS is a little pink. It's not dark red.
yeah,
So they're not going to have it's probably not going to be an easy match for them next week. And I think your match is going to be easier.
actually, I take that back. I think Sushi Rats doesn't have enough because they don't have a bye yet. I think they have a bye last next week.
Their points per week is too low to be in it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's Due Process and Dap Washers and Sheepies are fighting for that 4. I
Right.
think.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you think?
And F2L might be. I could see F2L not making it if they lose 2 weeks in a row.
Who do you think wins this Fish? Heat Shock is on one team and JR's on the other. Who do you think wins?
Oh man, you're gonna make me pick who I want to win out of who I
Well, let's
think.
put it
No,
this
I-
way. Well, no, Fish. I'll make it easy for you. Heat Shock won't be upset at you if you pick my team. I will be upset if you pick his team. Though.
Dr.
Honestly,
Peach is the op, and Dr.
the fact that Bill Snyder is 2-6 in pro shows a lot about how good pro is, because Bill Snyder's insane at Hearthstone.
Yeah, he
and him
is.
going and Boolean, like, I mean, Boolean's also a really good player. I think that I would give Bill the edge there. I'm gonna give. I don't know much about MMW. I know more about Dr. BOMD. So, records. There's everything's so close records wise. It's just kind of who I think will win, and I would favor Heat Shock over Goose. And I know Goose is an insane player, and I would favor Ufric over Rice Bowl. Which means that Heat Shock gets to play Flame Killer next week. And I guess I would pick BOMD in the 3 and make it a 3-2 for Tap Washers. Like, the logic, I just want to make sure I gave logic on it rather than just saying I want this.
Fair.
But I can see it going either way.
Well, I think we do got to get to
we do.
the next one.
Yeah.
We're getting really late.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, yeah. Next match, this is an important one in the pink. This is F2L versus Faction. We got Wabbit versus Harash. We've got Berserk versus Tonberry Blue. We've got Chain Magician versus Kraken. Ariana 20 versus Unlimited Power. Snake versus Fogey 8. And F2L is having quite a good season, as well as Faction. I did not expect Faction to be like doing as well as they are. I expected them to compete for the top 4. Not like, but maybe kind of be middling. But their team's really, really playing well.
I think the winner of this match becomes the 1 seed in pink.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Popeyes has a bye this week.
Yeah,
and I think that this match is not. Both of these teams are going to be in the playoffs. I think this match is really who gets into the 1 seed position there.
I'm pretty sure Popeyes is almost guaranteed the 1 because I think they have an easy match the last week. I can't remember who it is, but it was in the bottom half. I'm pretty sure.
They're 12 points.
12 points is a lot if you're playing an easy match to lose.
Well, no, but they're in a bye this week, so they're not going to gain any points. So Faction or F2L are going to gain more than 12 points.
He's saying that they're not going to be in the lead coming into next. But they'll probably take the 1. I think they're
still going to hold the lead.
I think they're
still going to hold the lead.
Ooh, so this one's going to be a tight match.
Faction or F2L would need more than like probably 15 at least to pass them, I think.
Well, they're both playing each other, and I think one of them is going to be above 15 for sure. One of them's going to win.
I think this will be super close.
Yeah, I mean, I also agree it's going to be a super close one. I I think gosh.
I could also just see Faction winning like 4-1.
Maybe.
I think it's. I don't think F2L will have a big win.
I think Chain Magician wins for F2L. Just like he's gonna. I think he'll beat Kraken. I know Kraken's insane, but Chain Magician's like kind of the amazingly really good unknown player that not many people may know about, but he. I don't know, just because he also the English isn't his first language, so he doesn't necessarily like communicate all that much. But he's 5-3. He started off really rocky. He's just kind of been winning, and I mean, getting to talk, hearing. I know Marty talked about this around the saloon last week. He's just like he's insane, but he had to get used to the format. But I think Berserk and Tom. I think I would. I don't know who to favor in there because I know that Ton's an insane player. I know Rescue Wabbit versus Harash. That's also a really good match. Ariana versus Unlimited Power will be on stream. I'm very excited to see that match. And I think Foggy, even though he's 1-0, is very good. I mean, I can see I can see. I would tend to favor. I think I'd favor Faction in the end, but I think it's gonna. Yeah.
All right. We got to move on to some
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, guys. I'm getting a little tired here.
Sorry,
so.
Desharma. Yeah, we'll get
Me
going.
too.
No, we're good. We're good. I'm having fun though.
Mm-hmm. All right. The Wild. We have some. This is the final week of Wild. Most of the seeds there's a couple of seeds up for grabs and stuff. So I picked some matches that definitely are gonna decide some stuff for teams, and if they do well, they'll very likely make playoffs. Tight race with I think both Maiden Heaven and Patches Payback are both teams that have chances at making playoffs. I don't exactly know the format for the playoffs. And then we got Snake Falls versus.
What do you mean? You don't know the format for the playoffs?
I don't know how many teams make and like the criteria for a 14.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing we didn't clear up because I think it's 8 teams.
I
could
think
be
it's 8
wrong.
teams, but is it like 3?
No, it's in the sheets. 14 teams is going to be 8 teams, so 6
Okay.
teams will not make it.
Okay, so it's just the top 4 from each conference.
Yeah. Top
Okay.
3 pointers from the conference will be we seeded 1 through 6.
Okay.
And then the remaining 2 seeds will be 7 through 8.
Cool. Thank you. The Maiden Heaven versus Patches, Snake Falls versus Dirty Mike, Peanuts versus Tony Montana, Mentalistic versus Surlos. We've got Kyrex versus Seth C. We got Nefola versus Lefty. Oh gosh. This is a close match. I'm gonna favor Maiden Heaven. Snake Falls is a really good wild player. Peanuts, and I think Peanuts is also like if you're going.
There is a match result already.
Okay.
Lefty lost to
Nefola. Okay.
Nefola 1-3-1.
Okay. So we have a result. So that means that I can even more favor for Maiden Heaven. I was gonna say the 5 seed match might be a bit of a toss up. But I know that Nefola is a wild player more than he's standard. So yeah, that he ended up taking the win. So yeah, I mean, I'd say it's probably a 3-2 or 4-1 for Maiden Heaven. I know Wild's not something that everybody knows about, but Wild is full of insane players. I see that in these matches as well.
Get this, Wild is wild.
It is, for sure.
Pun intended.
Yes.
Pun intended. That was one of my dad jokes. Every now and then I say a dad joke to my students in my class,
Mm-hmm.
and they look at me like with the most cringiest face that you've ever seen someone look at you.
Oh my god.
You know what you tell them? It's like when you have kids one day, then you can tell me I'm.
I don't really care, to be honest.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair, but like you could be like, hey, I'm actually a parent. I'm allowed to do this.
Nice.
It doesn't bother me. I'm 30, 35, 36 years old, and right now I'm like, I don't really care what people think anymore. You know, when you're younger, you're like, oh man, that person's looking at me, and
but I'm 30 and I'm still at that point. So damn it.
Yeah. All right, let's go to I figure we should just move on to the next match. And JR, go ahead and give us the matchup rundowns on this match. This one has quite a bit more. This is to teams that I believe are in round conference. Oh, no,
Yeah,
it
Bash
might be
Bros 2
green.
versus Seas of Cheese.
Look at this.
You got to say the whole thing. Bash Bros 2,
Electric Boogaloo, right?
Boogaloo.
There you
Right.
go.
Yes.
And there's Rice Bowl again, making me hungry. Come on, Rice Bowl.
Yeah.
What is
So-
wrong with you?
so these
You
two-
got to be on every
Oh, he's
single
fighting-
slide.
He's fighting salad too.
So these two teams are currently the 3 and 4 in the Brown Conference. And so I think that if one of these teams could have a massive week and could easily go up for a higher seed. If it's a close match, I think that they'll very likely keep, with especially if Hey Loser and Anoya, who I don't believe play each other, will if they can both put a big week, and they'll just kind of lock down their position. But seeding is all up in the air in the Brown Conference right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I gotta give it to my boy Reverb. Reverb. How I said that. Reverb. He was on my when my first season. I made we needed an extra team, so I made a wild team and I recruited him. I think I even messaged him somewhere else, and now he's a captain and he's doing well. They're doing well. They're in a I mean they're going to be in playoffs.
Oh yeah,
there's no.
I don't think there's a doubt about these two teams making it.
Yeah. And I find it funny because I'm looking at the records here. Mad Scientist is also 4-4. Sea of Cheese is 4-4, but Seas of Cheese is 20 points ahead.
Yeah,
that means that
they were blowing teams out. They were blowing teams out in the beginning of the season.
Yeah. Well, this is one of those things where, like, you say points matter. They really do matter. Like, you're losing the week, but you're playing a match and you're like, I don't need to worry about it because we already lost. No, you do need to worry about it because at the end of the season, these little tiny points matter.
Yeah.
And I know it's a 20-point deficit here, but
Yeah. I think
kind of thought.
I do favor Bash Bros in this one. Because I think Rice Bowl and Jailstorm will win the 1 and the 2. And just needing one win from Mr. Python, Anubinator, or Reverb, I think that's quite a good spot for Bash Bros as they head into playoffs.
Jailstorm sounds like a character from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Jailstorm's really knowledgeable and a really good player. Yeah, I've enjoyed casting with.
That was another dad joke. Nobody got it.
I know. I like
You just ignored.
I'm sorry. Yes, I did. I did ignore it. I'm sorry.
I blame it.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine. You can ignore my dad jokes.
No, I liked it. I liked it. I heard it, but I was talking, and so I couldn't laugh.
I'm doing the same thing that I did to Heat Shock to you now.
Nice. Yeah. All right. So this match is super interesting because of all the playoff implications. I wish we had classes, and I didn't do research on these classes that these people have been bringing lately, unfortunately. But we're gonna go to one last match, and this is implications for the first match, where this is everyone's a winner versus Hair Club, and yes, everyone's a winner is decidedly very likely the number 1 seed overall in the playoffs, as well as F2L Viridian. They kind of blew out the Green Conference, but they have to go up. They're playing Hair Club, and this is just going to depend on what type of week that everyone's a winner wants to have, because Hair Club is right on the edge. They are, I believe, the 4 seed in green.
I mean, look at their losses. I mean, they're on the level of, what was the team we talked about? I'm having a brain here. Yeah, Foolish Madmen. They're on the level of that, maybe even a little slightly better with only 4 losses. I know that the 5 seed probably didn't play all the matches, still 3 matches missing. So I'm not sure how that went.
But I think even then, I think that player wasn't losing either. No, their team is literally a bunch of winners. 6J and Keith Number. Like, these top, like, all of these matches are insane. The Keith Numbers versus 6J, they are both insane wild players. Battle Tagger versus Burnt. Like, Battle Tagger, I believe, has been rank 1 legend in wild. Burnt, also a very, very good player. So, like, I could see these matches just going almost any way. Like, Otters versus Sunday. Sunday, who's a 5 seed in Hero and in Legacy, is a really insane player in general. So another one of those wild players who's coming into Standard with low PR, just going to crush it. And against Otters, and that match is It'd be very interesting. I do favor Sunday. And I would favor everyone's a winner for the most part here, depending on what classes they bring. If this team just keeps going and goes 9-0, I mean, Hair Clubs is in a spot where they can miss playoffs.
I love the name Concerned Mom.
Concerned Mom is a great name. Yeah, Concerned Mom's also a great player.
I
Absolute
know,
versus White's great, and Hazer versus Concerned Mom, great match.
I wish I knew more about Wild than I do because I just don't know any of these people really.
I know,
Wild is just it's great.
There's such a big divide between the people who are like the Wild players and then people who are like in the standard parts of THL. But I know some of these players and they're all, and it's just insane how good Wild is. If I would love to see people next week with Wild playoffs, we're very likely to have a Wild guest to talk about it. So that'll be great to have a lot of insight coming from that.
And I think Hair Club does match up well into this match.
Yeah.
But I think it matters if everyone a winner if they gonna sit Aaron Rodgers or play him. I think that's where it comes down to.
Yes.
Are they gonna limp into this week and then go into the playoffs? Knowing they're gonna be the number 1 seed. Or are they gonna try to go that undefeated Patriots route? Hey, we're 15-0. We can go into the.
We're gonna play the full play against the Giants.
Yeah.
Go 16-0.
Yeah, then we play the Giants.
Yeah.
And then we go Giants.
Oh, then they will just lose in the Super Bowl anyways.
Your ass.
And they beat them in the Super Bowl, by the way.
Yeah. But there have been undefeated teams in the THL, so there would be anything new, but still.
I mean, that team's just nutty. Anyways, that is all the matches that we have, and I mean, do we have time for a short interview? Do you want to do it? It doesn't, it's getting late.
Yeah, we can do a quick one.
I'll give you a couple of questions. Yep, these are all from our lovely friend Diamond.
Oh, thank you, Diamond.
So we have
Diamond.
We have
Sorry for my giga cheap green screen here. It's it's actually just I don't have a green screen behind me. So
we have which out of your 3 teams is your favorite? Explanation why? And I'm gonna have to ask you to try and pick a definitive.
Look at my background. That's let's put that back.
Yes.
That background looks good.
Yeah.
And I think I froze, didn't I?
No. You were. I don't think you froze.
All right. Anyway, what was repeat that again?
What is your what out of the 3 teams? What's your favorite and why?
I mean, I love Dad Legend and Tampams, but I'm gonna have to go with the unknown. I've been with them for so long. It was a team I started a long time ago. Yeah, and we're not going to be around next season, but there will be some form of incarnation of the team. But yeah, I love that team. It's one of my favorite teams I've ever been with.
Great group of guys you have.
Yeah, Icicles,
Ron.
Brushy. And I did the same thing on that team that I did with my Wild team. I was like, I'm just going to make a team because we need teams in pro.
Yeah.
And Ron joined, and I messaged a Solo Jazz.
Oh yeah, Solo Jazz.
And he joined. And Brushy Tuna. The really funny thing about Brushy Tuna was that he joined my team, and I looked at his PR. He was like 200, and I was like, man, this guy's going to be a work in progress. And,
and then look at him by the end.
And then and then the first season he gets MVP. And I'm like,
oh yeah,
I used to rag on the dude.
He holds that over on to this day.
5 seed in Legacy, 1 seed in Pro.
Yeah, and
anyway, so
that was
I can't. It has to go to the unknown, 100%.
All right, let's see. We have next question. Where did your username come from?
WoW. I think a lot of people's name come from WoW, but when I was in WoW, I wanted to make a shaman, and I hit the what do you call it? The randomize button.
Random name.
And the name actually came out Charm. And I was like, that sounds weird. Somebody put add an O at the end of it, and then there we go.
Nice.
And then when I joined my guild, they called me Douche because DUSH. And so that was my nickname for years that I was in that guild. They would call me Douche. No, at first I was upset about it. I was like, it's Dush, not Douche. And you're like, shut up, Douche. And I was like, okay, what? And then I was in the military at the time, so it was just kind of a thing. And I owned it, but no one calls me that anymore. So it's fine. Everyone here in the THL's nice, so I love everybody here.
Awesome.
Aw.
Yeah.
Except Ron and Tuna together. Those guys.
Ah, you deserve their own sitcom.
Boom, boom. Flash. I love those two guys. All right, and I'll go with this last one. I think this is the most interesting question by far. Would you rather be underrated or overrated?
Definitely underrated. 100% underrated. It gives you a something to fight for. You know, a lot of times, you know, and this goes for anything in life. You know, when you have a goal, it pushes you more.
Yeah.
If you don't have a goal, or if you're overconfident, you tend to not work as hard. So I think that being underrated as a team is definitely way better than being overrated. So I love it that when teams put me at the bottom of the standings, if you know, and it's awesome.
I think that's a good
I mean,
point.
that's well said. Definitely.
Yeah.
I can relate to that way more in ways that I almost don't want to be able to relate to right now. So, well said.
Yeah. Well, I mean, thanks to both of you for coming on. Heat Shock kind of on a last minute, or kind of on the last couple of hours, us needing somebody to come on. Thanks for hopping in. Sharmo, thank you for all you do for THL as a board member, as a player, and coming on as a guest.
And thank you, Diamond, for all those questions.
Yeah, and Diamond for the questions, always coming in clutch.
Oh yeah.
And to everybody who watched, thank you for watching. I've always been Dr. Feet. And JR alongside me as co-host.
Yeah, and chat was popping off tonight.
Yeah,
I really
chat,
enjoyed chat.
That's awesome. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
It's great to see so many
Also,
people coming out
just
to watch.
Yeah.
Also, just to remind everybody, there will be matches for playoffs streamed this weekend.
Yes.
This week. Both DeSharmo and I will have our hero matches streamed. DeSharmo is going to be on Saturday or Friday?
Saturday
night.
Saturday, and I will be playing on Sunday for Sunday Showdown. So hopefully both of our matches are going to matter, or at the very that Tampan will have already won by the time my match happens. Maybe. All right.
Maybe. All right. Yep. And we have some other matches for Thursday night throwdown. 2 Hero Series quarterfinals matches. We have Turtle versus obviously Tonk versus Agua there. 9 p.m. Hero Series quarterfinals. Maddie Ebbs of Advanced Tactical Lackeys versus Buse. Ab on them. That'll be casted by Ron Mexico, and Saku will be opting and probably casting as well.
Those are 2 really good matches.
Those are really good matches. Friday night fight that'll be casted by myself, Dr. Fish Corridon. We have Legacy Series semifinals, Jester versus Jimbo. Advanced or always top deck Lethal versus Full. 9 p.m. we have a Pro Series match, Ariana 20 versus Unlimited Power, F2L versus Faction. Salty Saturday. I actually have matches this week. I'm so proud of Donde and Isaac getting these matches for us ahead of time. We've got 9 p.m. Eastern Hero Series quarterfinals. That is Busasaurus versus your mum Ked. Dabon versus Advanced Tactical Lackeys. 10 p.m. we've got Desharmo versus Mr. Python. Tam Pams versus Ask HS. Casted by Donde and Isocles.
Dondecles. I like it.
I like that.
I like it.
That's their team
Matchup.
name. That is their team name now.
I would have changed my name to Dondecles.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Saturday Skullstone, the wild edition of Skullstone. I am unsure of the matches. Those will be casted by Wild probably have Marty B opping and have some variety of wild casters. And then Sunday Skullstone, that's gonna have Nails versus Always Just in Time, Legacy semifinals, Always Top Deck Lethal versus Bad Men. 1 p.m. is Pro Series, Ridiculous Hat versus Nails, Aeon versus Yashiraj's Clown College. Sunday Showdown, which is gonna have JR's match first, JR versus Draco Cat. Hero Series quarterfinals, Legacy Series semifinals, Marty B of F2L Red versus Goose of Flame Pimps, casted by Dollar Bills in my Anodon. In the Sunday Schoolstone will be Lotus Knight, myself, and Robobson.
Nice.
Great matches, great casting combination.
I do gotta say that thank everybody who does content, Dr. Fish, all the Saku and all the people who op and who do this stuff. I mean, People don't realize, and I know people sometimes are critics, but you guys do this stuff for free. And
Yeah.
I was an op. I know how long it takes to
Oh gosh.
to set something up. So I really appreciate all the hard work everybody's put into the THL. And you guys like are what make THL go. It's like you keep everybody relevant and everybody interested in all the matches, and you get the hype up. And I got to give it to Donde too. Donde revamped this our content, and it has been fantastic. Just exactly everything he planned. And then we have matches. Like I remember the first time I was the board member, we were fighting to get matches, and now like we're just packed with matches. And
Yeah,
sometimes
you
like
have to
you
decline
have too many
matches.
matches.
Yeah, you have to
So
Mhm.
so props to everybody in the THL. Props to the viewers. Props to to the casters and to the ops. So
Yep.
just want to thank you guys.
Well
Yeah.
said.
Yeah, thank you for actually mentioning the matches. I was gonna completely skip over them, Jr. So yeah, I will now do our sign off. Thank you for watching. I'm Zach, been Dr. Feature Op, Jr. My usual host. Thank you everybody for watching, and we will see you all next week.
Take care, everybody.